Chaim mentioned something very interesting. Later on, most of us didn't hear about Agudas Chassidic Chabad. We didn't know about all these things. Maybe the people that were there in Tafshin knew that later on they knew there was an Agudas Chassidic Chabad. We found out later on when they started all Maisa with the Sfarim. We found out that Rebbe called in the members of Agudas Chassidic Chabad. Then the Rebbe said, I remember, whoever remembers, it's painted in front. But it's interesting, when you look back in the Rebbe's Siches, there's an interesting thing that's a little bit 2 years before all this thing started. This is Leil Ev Rosh Hashanah Tafshin Mem Gimel. Ev Rosh Hashanah Tafshin Mem Gimel, the night after Tafshin Dalet Mem. I remember that because that didn't happen that often. The Rebbe came into the Fabrengen with 2 Sfarim. He came in with a Sefer of the Tzemach Tzedek and Noir HaTorah. And he came in with a new Sefer that was just printed, Igas Kodesh of the Friedrich Rebbe. He came in, he put it on right in front of him. He has a siddur, and he has a 2 Sfarim in front of him. And Leila Rosh Hashanah, there's some bringings, about other things. Towards the end of the Fabrengen, the Rebbe said, Be'ashgacha Pratis, I got 2 Sfarim that just came out. So first, he gave a whole Sicha about something from Meir HaTorah. And then, he says, Behemshech to what he spoke about, the Tzemach Tzedek, there's another Sefer, Krach Hamishi of the Igres of the Friedrich Rebbe, the Rebbe Shmuel. The Rebbe opens the Sefer and he starts reading the first letter. That letter was written by the Friedrich Rebbe when they were under the Nazis in Warsaw. And therefore, the Rebbe tells everyone, it has to be written in a way that everyone should understand, because he knew that everyone may read a letter, so therefore it has to be written in a Oifen Shel Remes, in a hint. Because the Friedrich is afraid that maybe the censor will not send, won't let it go. And this is what he writes. And the letter is, this is what the Rebbe says, the letter is, this is, I think from the first times, earlier on, before everything started, he says this is a letter to Agudas Chassidic Chabad in America. The Rebbe writes, Ich hab jetzt keine Wohnung und befinde sich bei Freund mit der ganzen Familie in ein Zimmer. We find ourselves amongst friends and the whole family is in one room. Und darüber habe ich nicht keinen Platz für die Bücher, welche die Agudas Chabad mir geliehen. I have no place for all the Sfarim that Agudas Chabad lent to me. Ich wollte sich freuen, wenn Agudas Chabad wollten sie zurücknehmen. I would be very happy if Agudas Chabad could take back all these Sfarim that find themselves in Gullus. Where, as the Rebbe explained it, this was a hint that something should be done about saving him and with the Bnei Bais. I remember then the Shas Maisa, he didn't, as a lot of things, Lavdafke registered what the Rebbe is talking about. But then later on, when this Maisa with the Swam began, things thinking about when are the times that the Rebbe did talk about these things. And then the Rebbe went in to explain what does it mean, Agudas Chabad. Aguda means Achdus. Alle Yidden, Ayibnei Sol, Lachen sein be'Achdus. Chabad means learning Pnimis HaTorah in Aneifen for the Sparnis. Like, you would almost say things that are way beyond what is the whole thing. The Rebbe coming into the Fablein to Sfarim, sitting down. Something is happening here. Then the Rebbe says, I have it in front of me here, because Mamish, you should be Zeichet to Vakitzu V'ran Shech Offer, and amongst them should be the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Rebbe the Shver, and all the way to Moshe Rabbeinu. And we're going now to Rosh Hashanah, when Arei Chodesh Naila B'Yesod. Interesting enough, because I was looking in the beginning of the Fabrengen, the Rebbe mentioned that by the Rabbeim is Bavus with Machna Seder in Petrograd. I can't tell you, I looked at it, but it's trying to look a little bit. The Rebbe didn't mention that many times. Chassidim, we always just talk about this. That the Rebbe makes, this is Rosh Hashanah, the Rebbe makes an order. The Rebbe mentioned those things. So there's no question if we start looking, some people made a collection from day one, going looking on all these things, how the Rebbe is talking about all this yanim. So L'chaim, and as the Rebbe explained, that the idea of Agudas Chabad is that should be the Ispanusu, the Avon of scholar, we should be able to learn the Siches. I heard from a few of the people that were involved when the Rebbe started to be Magia of the Siches, that there's no question when you go back to Maimorim, the Maimorim, this is connected with those times. For many years, they tried to give in that the Rebbe should be Magia. The Rebbe wasn't Magia. At the time, what we're talking about, and interesting enough, around that time, it began, and then the Yesa says, all the Mugadik Maimorim that we have. It's interesting, if anyone remembers, for Tafshin and Ches Davis, and at that time everyone didn't know how is the Rebbe going to recognize. They gave in a minor to be Muga, and it's very vague. It doesn't say Kuntras Davis, Dam Avdi, Tafshin and Vav, and then came out. Later, the Kikun Tracy, they're very clear to say Davis, Test, Shinun, Shinun, Base. But it's no question in this whole, because the Rebbe stopped saying Maimorim, there was no Nigunim for the Maimor, that the Rebbe was just Maimor King Sicher, and the Rebbe stopped saying Maimorim altogether. But then there was another Gilui, all these Mugidik Maimorim. So L'chaim, we should be able to live, learn, the Rebbe's Sichas, the Rebbe's Maimorim. L'chaim. that for Shabbos, because the 8th was Tuesday, for Shabbos, many shluchim came from all over the world, not just shluchim, everyone came. I remember my father came then, many people came. So here's something very interesting. Sunday when the Rebbe spoke, so he kind of thanked everyone, and he also mentioned that Tultula de Gava, the man that came, he also mentioned Tultula de Itza, the woman that came. By dollars that morning, very interesting. I know about 4 people. Someone told me there was even more that passed. When they passed the Rebbe asked them if their wife is also there. So I know my father, the Rebbe asked him, did your wife come? We could see how this was so much appreciated, so much was important to the Rebbe. So my mother was in Morocco. The Rebbe asked the same thing Rabbi Nachman Sudak, my wife here, she did come. And the Rebbe asked my uncle Mula Azimov if his wife is here. And she was here. She came. And the Rebbe asked Rabbi Gorelik, Geshemen, and she also came. I heard the Rebbe also asked others. Ashkenazi. Also the Rebbe asked. So we see an amazing thing, how this was appreciated by them. I mentioned to you a very interesting story that you see the Rebbe's, no question, how the Rebbe to him was very important, the shluchim, or even more so, the shluchas. Here's a story of Yudalef Nisan Shnas Hashiv. So people came. Coming from Morocco is not